But before we start, let us introduce ourselves to the people so they know who we are. All right? So let's start with our broker, John.
I am the broker.
Yes.
Hey, I'm the broker. I'm John Monticello.
Yes.
I'm Alex Sardi.
Rashonda Harris.
And I'm Josette.
Marianne Carroll.
Mark Walter.
All right, guys. So welcome, guys, and we're gonna talk all about real estate, real life, and real talk. So let's go, guys. What do we want to talk about today? I'm really glad that you guys are here. As you know, I think with real estate, we have to really kind of show the people that there are real people behind the phone calls, the emails, the cards, the Facebook ads, or anything like that. And I think that people have a huge misconception about who realtors are and what we really do. I think if they knew us a little better, if they knew what we did a little bit better, maybe they would be more understanding, or maybe they'll be more loyal. What do you guys think? You know, especially if you're working with somebody that just walk away, you know, you're showing them like a million properties and they don't seem to feel like, hey, when you do that, it affects my bottom line. You know, so.
I agree to a point. Yes, people need to trust the people they're working with.
Yes.
You know, people
That's what
work
it's
with people
about.
they know, trust, and like.
Yeah.
So,
So,
No like and trust.
yes, no like and trust, that's a good slogan.
Some of the things that I did when I first got into the business and I was meeting people after the first few houses we saw, and we get back to the car and have a cup of coffee, I always ask them, are you comfortable working with me? And most of them said yes. And then I said, I'm gonna ask you if I'm comfortable working with you, because we're gonna spend a lot of time together, and I expect loyalty, and you will get loyalty. So I had that conversation up front, so that helps a little bit. It's awkward, but it's worth it.
Yeah. No, I agree that buyers and sellers don't always understand what we do or how we get paid or any of that. And we probably have all had a relative or a close friend who's bought a house and told you how excited they were, called you to let you go, hey, you're a realtor. You must be excited that I found the house. So it's our fault. When we get that phone call, it's really our fault for not explaining. And social media really is a great tool to use to remind people, this is what I do.
Yes, yeah. And that's what this is about, you know, for us to really just kind of bring it out there to the public, who we are and what we do. Because seriously, we always think that they know. You know, you might be that auntie or that uncle, that brother that lives far away from you, and you think, well, they know that I'm a realtor. But sometimes when they're really in the process, for some reason, he gave his uncle the guy's number, and he never told his uncle, I'm a realtor, and then he was mad. So I think we need to let them know what we do and kind of clear it up, make it that when we leave them, they have a clear idea of who we are and what we do. So this is what we're going to talk about. You guys, we can bounce back off of each other, market, and what's happening.
I wanted to bring up the iBuyer thing. I mean, they're all over the place. You can't open up
Yes, sir.
Facebook or anything and not see some of these iBuyers, and they're all over the place. This morning I found one, not that they found me. Just a general ad, somebody commented with their phone number, a seller. It was about if you have a vacant house, and this guy responded with his phone number. I'm thinking, I should call this guy.
Did you call the guy?
No, I didn't call him.
You should call the guy.
But I'll give you the phone number. You
Yes, I will call the guy.
yeah. So I think that
I don't take listings, that's why.
I think the iBuyer definitely would relate to the market condition, the shortage in listings, and part of it is how this current market that is really driving everybody crazy. No listings, but there's a lot of buyers. Buyers cannot find houses, so really it's a great time to buy, and it's a great time to sell. iBuyers are out there. We can cover this topic and see how this is actually impacting our market and how it's affecting the sellers net and how it's impacting the buyers.
Has anybody run into, a buyer or a seller here that's thought about it or has actually worked with an open door or an iBuyer, however you want?
Well, we did a couple of offers with Open Door. They are a nightmare.
Okay.
They are a nightmare to work with.
Yes, they are. I've worked with several of them on the buyer's side. And every time you call to answer, get another question answered, you're talking to a different person in a cubicle someplace, and you have to reiterate the whole entire story up to where you're at just to get the new information, and it becomes tiresome.
So the
And
benefit of doing iBuyer is, I would think, and I'm very new at that, would be this for the seller. Because they can get out of their circumstance if they have to relocate quickly, or if they have kids and they don't wanna have people schlepping through their house.
So here's the misconception. People think that because I'm getting this iBuyer, they're telling me they're advertising, spending, hundreds of thousands of dollars on TV ads, telling me that they would buy the house, that, I'm gonna put the house on the market, they will come, they'll give me full market price,
Right,
and I'll be out in 5 days.
correct.
It's not how it works. First off, you're gonna sign a contract that
Okay.
is drafted to their benefit, not yours. Okay, and like most people, unless you're an attorney, nobody reads contracts. There is a lot of fine writing at the bottom. And in that fine writing, they're going to send their inspector. You are obligated to fix everything that their inspector report. And they're gonna take that off the price. And their investor, just like any investor, they're going to put the best price that would fit them because they're going to turn around and resell the house. So they really are not working in every market, they're picking the markets that they're working at. And so you end by the end, they tell you that a realtor will cost you 6%, which we all know here, we negotiate our commission that we split with the buyer agent. And they tell you that, you're going to save the 6%, to where really when you look at the cost, they're costing you about 13 to 14% of the asking price. So the benefit for somebody who doesn't want the hassle of people viewing their house, and they really are not looking at the net dollar that they're getting, they just wanna get out of the house, those might be a good target for iBuyers.
Okay.
But if you really don't mind, working with a real estate agent who's going to show your house, and present your house properly, market it right, and get you the most amount of money, then definitely it's hiring a real estate agent is the best way to do it.
So it's more of a convenience for the seller.
You're paying a lot of money for that convenience.
Yeah, you
Yes.
are paying for it, but yeah.
So we were just talking about buyers not really understanding what we do. So I believe a lot of those sellers don't understand what they're getting themselves into as well.
Okay, so I'm a seller and I'm hiring you as my realtor. What should I expect?
Expect to get a call from Alex.
He's a broker, he doesn't do that.
I'm being broke, right?
Anybody can answer that. Answer that, Oshanda. I'm a client, a seller. I hire you as a realtor to sell my house. What should I expect?
You're expecting me to put your house on the market. I am going to advertise, market your property. There are times that I may actually ask you, can I do an open house to help, as far as marketing your property, I'm representing you. And I have to make you aware that, yes, there is a fee involved, and a lot of that fee, when it gets down to the negotiation, is because of everything that I'm doing as far as trying to market your property to get it sold as best as I can for
But
no matter what.
here's the difference too between an iBuyer and a realtor, a person, an individual. I, as a realtor, I am working in my seller's best interest.
Right.
iBuyers are not. They're working in
their
their
best
best interest. So, as an agent, when you put a house on the market, it's more than just putting it on the market. It's really working to make sure that that seller comes out better than they went in, so.
Right. But you wanna get fair market value, and iBuyers don't go in with fair market value, they go in fair market value minus their profit and their costs and everything else. built into their offer.
They're investors. They're
Yeah.
just like the big brand investors, like, you know, regular guy who's an investor comes in, and the regular investor look for a house that needs repairs and all of that. But the iBuyers, they don't really necessarily, the house doesn't necessarily need to have any repairs, but they're still investors. They're still gonna give you, regular investors do like, what, 70 cents on the dollar? You know, and the big brand like Open Door, they don't really see it like that. They're just looking at how much can I get out of this when I turn around and sell it.
Right.
So, cool. So guys, where do you see the market right now? You know, what's happening in the market, other than the iBuyers and Open Doors and all that stuff, where do you see?
Inventory is what, I think, two months worth of inventory, which is awful.
Well, and the most common price, it is very low inventory, you know, like anywhere from 150 to 250,
There's
300.
nothing in that price.
That's
Yeah.
very low inventory, which
Yeah.
the interest rates are low.
Mhm,
You know, it's a great time for buyers to be out there looking for a house.
mhm.
And it's a great time for sellers to put their house on the market because of the low inventory. You can get an extra buck for your house.
Mhm.
You know, it's still going to be within reason. It's not going to go really like, oh, let's get $45,000 more for my house. You still have to have your house within the market value, but it's the perfect time to sell it and sell it fast.
That's if you have a house that you can get into. If
True.
I just sold a house and this lady's living with her brother, because there's nothing on the market that fits her criteria.
Yeah.
So that's pretty tough, so, and I don't know what John, you've seen this kind of a market before, or no?
Yeah, very tight market, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And it's just cyclical, right?
Yeah, there's just nothing out there that, you know, there's more buyers than, that don't fit the criteria of what's on the market, or houses that don't fit the criteria of the buyers on the market, so. Yeah, and drives prices up. I think we're coming into the part of the year where inventory should start picking up a little bit, and buyers maybe drop off a little bit.
Well, I just read an article where they are saying buyers dropping off because there's no inventory, so people are taking a break and deciding to go back to renting.
So,
you
yeah,
know,
so
instead
then the
of
rental
looking
market
for-
is probably,
Rental
market is out of
super
sight.
hot right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. I just had a buyer did that, say we can't find anything, so we're just gonna rent it for a while.
Yeah.
But after, come November, I think, it's just a natural shift in the market anyway.
Yeah, I was just talking to a friend of mine who's an underwriter, and I was like, oh, you guys are a little slow because of how the market condition. And he's like, really, we are extremely busy. But he explained they're busy with refinancing and, you know, different programs for home sellers to stay in their houses. But, yeah,
So how do you convince in a market where you feel like there's only about 2 months worth of inventory, you know, available on the market? How do you convince your buyers or your sellers, you know, to come to a decision whether it is to buy or to sell? How do you to do that, to help them to make the right decisions?
I'm gonna sit back. I'd like to hear this one.
I don't know if you can make any
You
decision.
can't, you can only offer, if you're talking about buyers,
Yeah, especially buyers. How do you help them to come to a decision? Hey, I'm out there.
sometimes they come to it on their own. I mean, lately I've been scheduling showings for homes, and before I can get the client out there to look at the homes, 3 or 4 of them are canceled out of the 6 that I scheduled. So that's an indication to them as the buyer, hey, homes, are- especially when they know that, because everybody's self-taught, they look at Zillow and they see how many days it's been on the market. The house was only on the market for 2 days. I'm like, well, you know, a lot of people are looking to buy homes in this area. I mean, this is just it. And if you look at the news, a lot of people are moving to Florida. There's a wealth of people moving